Hi, this is Lisa Cruz. I am the video narrator for Palmer International World Companies, Inc. and Palmer Art Productions Company. Welcome to the video of the greatest art painters in the world. Today's video is about artist Severin and Ruysch and artist Rachel Ruysch. These are the greatest still life artists in the world. Their techniques are unmatchable, amazingly detailed, and unbelievable real. We have many of their art posters for sale in large sizes and small sizes, for sale to collectors and galleries worldwide. Enjoy this wonderful and historic video of both artists, Ruysch and Ruysch, and make your world of art spontaneously beautiful forever. Please have a beautiful evening. Thank you.
Uffizi, and we're looking at a still life painting by a Dutch artist whose name is Rachel Ruysch.
Ruysch was incredibly successful during her very long career. She painted from the time she was in her teens until she was in her 80s.
More than 60 years. And you can see why her paintings were so wildly popular. In fact, her paintings regularly sold for double what Rembrandt's paintings sold for.
In Holland, artists specialized in certain types of paintings. Artists like Rembrandt painted portraits. Others like Rachel Ruysch painted still life paintings. Others like Ruysdael painted landscapes. They were painting for a widening merchant class in 17th century Holland.
She specialized in flowers, but this particular painting is fruit and insects.
And seems to be about the autumn, the subject of the harvest, fruits and vegetables that are harvested in the autumn. Corn, we have squash,
chestnuts, and grapes, but also wheat. And this reminds us that still lifes were often not only simple representations of items that might be put on a table, but would have symbolic value.
Any Christian looking at this painting in the 17th century would have seen the wheat and the grapes and thought of the Eucharist, of the sacrament of communion, of the body and blood of Christ.
The bread and the wine.
And it's also important to realize that this is not just a scene that she would have assembled on the table and painted. This is likely a composite of studies of grapes, studies of peaches, studies of plums, studies of a nest with eggs in it, studies of a butterfly that are then combined imaginatively into this composition.
Into a microcosm. This was a time in the late 17th and early 18th century when the microscope was perfected and we were looking into worlds beyond what we had known before.
And a scientific interest in categorizing the natural world and looking closely at it. And in fact, a great example of this is Rachel's own father, Friedrich Ruysch.
He was one of the most famous scientists of his day. He specialized in botany and the study of anatomy, especially human anatomy.
And he was an artist. He had a cabinet of curiosities, a collection of natural wonders that he published and illustrated himself.
Rachel's mother, on the other hand, was the daughter of one of the most famous architects in the Netherlands at this time. Perfect preparation for a woman who would spend her long life looking at infinitely small details of the natural world.
And painting these things as though they were almost scientific specimens.
But bringing them together in beautiful compositions.
What I notice are the color harmonies. So we have these reds and greens. Red and green are complementary colors. The green grapes on one side, the red on the other, balanced by the red plums on the other side of the composition.
You can see that also within individual elements. Look, for instance, at the bunch of grapes on the right side, those red-purple grapes, except that they have a little bit of a dust of powder blue, and we see the same thing in the plum on the extreme left.
The butterfly in the foreground, maybe it's a moth, that's just landing is a good reminder that Rachel's father, Friedrich, collected specimens like butterflies and preserved them, and in fact was a master at preserving parts of human anatomy and animal and insect species, and had such a famous collection that he sold it to Peter the Great, the Tsar of Russia.
I love that butterfly. It looks as if it is just about to land, but perhaps having second thoughts because it's a salamander, a small lizard.
That idea that you mentioned before of a world of its own.
This is a painting that is about slow, careful discovery, and this is an artist whose mastery rewards the patient observer.
It would be fun to look at this picture as it would be seen by one of the bugs. Think what that beetle must see down deep in there. Beautiful with its spots, and then it has these delicate wings. You can see the little veins in the transparent wing structure. You see two ants crawling within the shadows of the outer petals. And then above the topmost petal, a spider is beginning to crawl onto the rose. He looks like he has pincers up at the top. The hairs on his legs show if you zoom way in, and it has almost a jewel-like anatomy with its floral motif on its back. I almost could attach it to a chain as a beautiful pendant.
And then there's that dragonfly that's really camouflaged, and the translucency of its wings are really superb. There's this little yellow guy. I hope I'm not diminishing her talent by calling them cute, but they're so cute.
There's a tiny touch of Disney.
Isn't there? Yeah.
Or Alice in Wonderland or something, or Fantasia.
Yeah.
Just above the vase is this spectacular milk thistle, which has really been gnawed upon. The insects are probably laying their eggs, and the eggs are hatching and eating the leaf. If you look hard at her work, you do find these things. Everything isn't in a pristine state of dewy newness. She isn't afraid to show the beauty of damage.
Dear viewers, please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the red button and the notification bell, to keep updated with our product and services. We have some very exciting videos that will amaze you in overseas publishing and printing, beautiful gallery art, natural health, dangerous foods and optimal nutrition, end-time climate disasters, Bible prophecies, and many, many more. Please subscribe, this is the channel you've been looking for.